Hello, my peeps. It is July 18th. Little after 6, I think. I'm home after work. Things have been going great, except for this evening. I got a new desk, and I cannot move the computer from where it's at because they want that specific program at that desk. So I am asking for different desks to help accommodate what have you, and I'm trying to clean up the area, make things organized and whatnot. And my supervisor and I moved this big brown table, and I was going backwards, and we got, I don't know, about 10 feet. And the table's legs, they're the legs that come down and they sprawl across and come down. It hit up against my sandal and it got stuck. It was because you lifted up off the ground because you couldn't scoot it and made a very high noise and you didn't want to scratch the floor. So when we put it down, it was on my sandal part of it. I didn't look to see how it was caught. But then I went to go move further back with my body so I can bring it towards me, and I lost balance, fell on my left hand side, my wrist, my left elbow, my left knee, and my neck. I don't see any bruises, it's too early to tell, and out of all of it right now, my neck hurts. You know Ahmed on Jeff Dunham, how he has to sit there and look like this? That's me right now because I don't want to mess with this. It is a workers' comp claim. I did put in a Band-Aid for him so I can go to the doctor and get proof that I was there for whatever reason. First time I've had it in over 20 years. The last time was about 18 years ago. It was when we were doing the mailroom. I had to drive this van to go get the mail in town. And working in a prison, you have to have those security bars that have the V shape, and then you put it across your steering wheel, and you have the locking mechanism. If you're familiar with it, when I wasn't familiar, first time using it, nobody told me anything. And it went like this, it doesn't stay there, and it came back, and I had my hand like this, and where it connects together, it came down and it pinched me right here. I put in a Band-Aid form, nothing came of that, but that was my last one. But this one hurts. We're trying to rearrange furniture, kind of doing a lot of things. It's not that I'm not capable of moving things, but yeah, didn't see that one coming. It took 5 people to get me up because I cannot bend on my right knee, and my left knee hurts when I bend on it, so I have to sprawl like a giraffe when I'm on my side, and then I have to sit there and sprawl as I'm lifting myself up, and everybody brought me up. So it's like 5 people, and I'm sore from that. Don't know what Monday will bring. I'm just going to be cautious and take it easy because any more could just aggravate it. But yeah, it's I don't normally come in here and say, guess what, I'm sick, I hurt, whatever, because I don't like hearing others. Because my father used to call me a hypochondriac, and I'm like, I don't remember anything of that, but okay. My shoulder's hurting on the muscles here, but you know, there's no one else to talk to. And then the manager's going to be PO'd, probably because we were moving furniture, and we don't have porters. We have one that's from visiting, but we had like 2 before, and they'd come and go, and it would be easy, but he's by himself, and you know, anyway, long story short, I fell. I'm in pain. We'll see how this goes. I did do a post stating that I have a what's the name of it? Metal detector coming tomorrow. So that's going to have to be put off. Depends upon how I feel. I wanted to open it up with you guys, put it together, test it out, what things do and all this stuff, because I haven't done it since a child. but that may have to wait. And definitely the using of it out in the wild blue yonder will have to wait. I can do it in my yard to get used to what, coins and cans and stuff. I'll practice there. I found out a lot of good videos where you take, I think I explained this before, so I won't explain it again. You can tell I'm quite not shaken up, but I was shaken when I fell, and I was more, my ego was more hurt. So anyway, I was hoping that something worse would have come to it, like a compound fracture, very first broken bone, something, but no. I got a lot of fluff to protect me, and I thought when I landed and I went like that, something would happen, but I've got very good bone structure and everything else, so yeah, don't wish it, right? But anyway, I thought I'd give you guys an update. I'm just gonna sit here and chill. It's Fair Week. Last night they had a concert. I guess tonight they have a concert too. And they had the concert from 11:30 at night, and I was like, really? And I don't think I have any earplugs, but it was just like I couldn't go to sleep. It wasn't because the music was bothering me, but oh. Did this damn thing not stop? Okay. I'm looking at my YouTube and I'm wondering if I'm talking about something that's on there. What? At least 3 dead in possible explosion at LA Sheriff's Facility? What is going on? Speaking of which, we get all sorts of notification, and I already forgot where it was. I want to say LA County. But a parolee came into the parole office and shot his PO. I want to say it's his PO. But yeah, shot him and killed him. And it was yesterday, and I'm like, what? He leaves behind a wife and 3 kids. He's been with the department like 18 years. No, 7 years. Anyway, you see what I mean? So yeah, I was like, whoa. So yeah, this is why we let prisoners out who are so-called rehabbed. Some do, some don't, and yep, there you go. Let's see what other headlines we have. Hiking trail in Aradoc Mountains shut down due to unusual behaviors by moose. Okay, looks like a blue-eyed moose, too. Let's see, what's that? Scripps Research CEO's private plane goes missing over the Pacific Ocean. Well, you know what? Speaking of which, how many people have you known that goes from point A to point B and then they end up missing? There's a guy, wherever he's at, and that's his freaking job. There's probably more guys in the world, but that's all they do is they go to water sources. They'll get with the sheriff's department or whatever and say, okay, Jane Doe is missing. She went from point A to point B. There's 3 water sources there, and they will dive into each one. They'll find the car. They'll say, here's the license plate number, and they'll say, yes, it's her car. Yes, she's in there. So yeah, it's on YouTube if you're ever interested in looking at it. I don't know what you would call it, like missing person recovery, divers, something. It is very, I don't know if ominous is the word, but you're scuba diving with them. It's all the murk, all the stuff moving all over, and then he sits there and waves the license plate, and you see the license plate. And then, of course, you're not going to see, if he or she is in there. But then they'll bring it out of the water. They'll call the sheriff's department or whatever department, and they'll say, this is my name. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is where I'm at. This is what I found. Yes, it's a missing person, blah, blah, blah. So they leave it there. They call everybody they need to. They pick it up with a rope, and they bring it up, and if the body's in there, they'll shield it off, in case it moves, kind of thing. So yeah, which is, respectful, of course, but I'm like, how the heck can one, well, it's just like doctors and stuff. If you're used to guts and blood and barf and all this stuff, then, looking at someone's dead body, yeah. Anyway, it's like a mortician, right? Right. All right, let me see what else is here. Got off on a squirrel thought. I'm going to be hurting tomorrow. I bet you what? Millions. I said millions because it says millions told to stop driving in 3 states. Maybe I should just stop recording. Gosh. Teen who cannot eat or drink is making most of life. Let's look into this, shall we? Alright, a very young teen. A teenager who has never been able to eat or drink due to a rare condition says that she was determined to make the most of life despite her health issue. Isla from Stanford La Hope in Essex, which is, I know, Canada, had her bowel removed as a child and is fed via a tube to a major artery near her heart. The 14-year-old was also recently diagnosed with osteoporosis, however you say that, condition that weakens bones, and now uses a wheelchair. I just try to have a positive attitude, she says. Sometimes it gets me down when I'm in pain, but most of the time I try not to let it bother me. Well, you know, I can. There's a picture of her. It is so rare that it does not have a name. She has infusions into her bloodstream for 18 hours a day. She was attending high school until last year when she got sepsis and had not been able to return. It hasn't been easy. I was doing so well at school, but sepsis was a major setback and I haven't been well enough to go back. Aww. Shows there's a little child holding Ariel and somebody, like the Ice Queen or somebody. This kid, and then the tube coming in her nose. She went to concerts and everything else. Oh my gosh. Okay, enough of that. We don't need any more downers. I was the only thing that needed to be down. Doctors react to alleged Trump health concerns as photos show swelling and bruising. Yeah, if you have a good enough camera, you can pick up anything. California wildfires spawn massive sustainable recycling operations. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I think we're back to the normal. Yep. Alright. So yeah, there's just so much grossness in the world anymore. Another hole has formed at Yellowstone National Park, geologists say. So, speaking of Yellowstone, which is not near me by any means, they show a bunch of animals leaving in big herds and groups. Well, maybe you just happen to catch them migrating to somewhere else. They're not massively running like there's a tornado behind them, but the elk are leaving. Other kind of animals are just leaving in big packs, and it's not like a mountain lion's chasing them or bears chasing all these different types of animals. So they think because Yellowstone is active, or a volcano near there or what have you, it's telling us that, it's warning us that these animals know what's going on. They have a sixth sense. They're getting the heck out of danger, and we should take heed. Well, of course. There's also a weird volcano under the water at Oregon coast, and I just came from the Oregon coast. So we'll see what one says versus what one gets as far as if it's correct or not. Oh my goodness. So I have a tendency, speaking of which, to, I'm not going to call it predicting the future, but sometimes when I say things that, I don't say things to say it, like, I think I'm going to find a black lab on the street tomorrow. You know, no. It's more like, somebody came up to me at work, and their fan, when it's on, even though it has rubber feet, it keeps vibrating off the table. So she put some heavy things behind it. And I said, oh, you can get one of those rubberized mats and do it. Well, sure enough, I was at one of my desks, the desk that I traded with somebody else, and there was one of those red rubberized mats in it. I was sitting there just going, I had no idea it was in there. We didn't even talk about it. So I put it underneath her fan, and she came in. She goes, was it you that gave me that mat? And I said, yeah. And I told her the story. She said, oh my gosh. But yeah, you, what do you think when I sat there and looked through the desk drawers that somebody just left to see if there's anything I could grab? And there it was. Something drew me to it. I have that weird feeling. So sometimes it's like I'm not trying to think of something, but if something bugs me and I'll say water. Something about water. Did I forget it? No, there's nothing on water. What? And there might be a leak down the street, you know. So one of those weird things. So yeah, I don't say it when I hear it or sense it, especially if it's bad and I haven't had bad things. It's always been good things, like where your pen was, you know, if they lost a pen kind of thing, or just I'd be working and thinking about other things and then something will pop in my head. I'm like, potatoes, why am I thinking potatoes? Somebody come by and make their lunch and it was potatoes. I'm like, okay, they're not going to believe me if I say it now, so I should just say it out loud and say, why am I thinking about potatoes? You know, but I don't want to show off either. Anywho, oops, I'm not paying attention. I gotta make a mark. It takes about 35 rows, I think, for an adult head, 30 or 45. But here's what I got, and I'm gonna fold all this up. Well, it might be too thick, so I'm gonna make a brim or whatever you call it, a lining, or what do you call that when you make it? Anyway, it's gonna be flat, not round. So, acrylic fibers from Squirrel from Temu, very soft. Because I've been mumbling and stumbling so much, I think I'm gonna end it here just to let you guys know an update in case what I posted did not come through. It will be posted whatever, and I've always, you know, every time I have something, I've always post. Well, now it's time for me to take a break and take care of my health for a few moments, days, whatever, and I will update you whenever I can. So thank you for stopping by and leaving those comments. They mean a lot to me. It lets me know what you're interested in, and it keeps me going. So y'all take care and careful where you step, huh? Bye-bye.